All right, here we go. Welcome to the show.
Hey,
it's Too Much Coffee with your host Jason and my co-host
and I'm Kevin.
You may notice that Kevin sounds a little different this week. That's because he's not here. He's at his house. I'm in my house, and he's at his house.
I'm in the spirit realm.
And the unfortunate reason for that is he's been infected with terrible, awful COVID.
Yes, indeed.
But as you can hear,
plague.
It sounds okay. So you're actually feeling okay.
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm not having anything. I'm not having anything other than what I would always have during winter anyway, because my body is completely allergic to the winter.
Well, let's talk about it a little bit anyway. But first, let me let the people know. Welcome to the show. This is episode 8. Let me tell you what we're going to talk about today. First of all, no Spider-Man talk. I've heard lots of people talking about it. Everybody has seen No Way Home. I have not. Kevin has not. So
me neither.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it's good. So go watch it. We're going to talk about. We've got some interesting COVID stories that seem to apropos since, my poor co-host is suffering with it right now. But we've got some pretty funny COVID stories you might enjoy, as well as my list of 12 things that take me out of movies. We're going to discuss the incredible, amazing Elon Goat Token, which is exactly as hilarious as it sounds. But first, let me encourage you right now that if you're on YouTube, go ahead and click that like button for us. We'd appreciate that. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you'll always
smash that notification bell.
Smash that like button. Hit that notification button. Hit the bell so you'll always know when a new episode of Too Much Coffee is coming out. We really need your support to help the show grow, and we're just trying to put on an entertaining show here, okay? We're just trying to be fun, entertaining. We know that everybody's working hard. Maybe you're doing grunt work right now. I don't know what you're doing. If you're like me, sometimes you're doing stuff where you need to really think. You need some quiet time. You need some silence. Sometimes you're doing stuff where it's grunt work and you could do it asleep. And that's when you need us. That's when you need Too Much Coffee.
We'll keep you awake.
To entertain you, tell you about things you've never heard about. We talk about music. We talk about movies. We talk about tech news. That's the kind of stuff we enjoy. And we enjoy silly COVID stories. So actually, up until now, my policy has been no COVID talk. But since you've got COVID, we're going to talk about it just a little bit.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Got COVID at a wonderful time, too. In my life.
Perfect. Well, we're going to get into that. But first,
Lord.
Just to finish up, subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify. Rate the show, please. That we appreciate that. It's like twisting arm. I mean, I don't rate things either. I get it. Amazon is always sending me emails. Please rate this. How was your purchase? And I'm going to.
I rate stuff sometimes.
I don't do any of that. I do none of that. And here I am, the hypocrite that I am, asking you.
I can't believe it.
To do the same thing, but I'm just going to have to live with my hypocrisy. Rate the show. Just give us whatever.
I rate stuff sometimes, and I say rate it.
Yeah, there you go. We're trying to get our first 2022 subs. Get it? The year 2022. So help us get those follows and subs. All right, enough of the shilling. Let's get into the show. So, Kevin, tell us what your experience of COVID has been like.
Well, it's been, I guess as fine as it can be. I'm just in my room, basically, watching Bradley Hall and Pawn Stars videos.
Yeah. Did you say Dragon Ball?
No, Bradley Hall, just like YouTube guitarist.
Oh.
He makes very silly videos.
I guess with the crosstalk, I thought you said Dragon Ball and Pawn Stars, which would be pretty incredible. So you don't have like chills?
No, I'm fine.
No sore throat?
The only thing I have a little bit of is just like, I guess sniffliness. Yeah. But that's like, I get that every year during winter. Like I said, my body is just completely allergic to the winter. I need to move to the equator or something.
I'm starting to think I'm allergic to my house because I feel like I live.
Oh, really?
there. I've always got something. And I feel like it dries up when I go to the beach. So maybe it's just where I live. And my body's allergic to the whole state of Georgia. I think my body's allergic to the whole state.
Honestly, that's how I feel. Yeah. Which is kind of weird.
Well, I'm glad. Do you have your sense of taste? Yeah. You still have your sense of taste and your sense of smell and all that?
I do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I in fact, never lost it. I've got a very
about as good a
asymptomatic
case as you could get. And you were telling me that you don't know if you had, we don't know what you got exactly, Omicron or whatever, but I am very glad that you're not suffering, because I know a few people who've had it so bad that they were, in the hospital for.
Oh yeah.
Our cousin, I don't know if you know this, but our cousin Chris had it for 6 weeks in the hospital.
I did know that.
Bad.
No, it's rough.
Really bad. So very good.
Okay. Yeah, people. Well, wear a mask and all that when you're out.
Well, I've got some pretty funny articles about COVID, but first, I'm going to give you a list of treatments that I think might help. Even though,
I'm ready. Let's go.
You don't have it too badly, you still don't want it. And for all of you listed, and even if you can't use it, Kevin, the people out there listening right now, if you end up getting COVID, I got a list of things for you right here. Proven methods. I know it's proven because I went on to the Google. I just typed in cures for COVID and I got all this stuff. You listen to on the news. If you just listen to the news, you would get the idea that people don't know what to do. Well, I've got like 8 things for you right here, and they all work.
And look, you can listen to us because we're doing a podcast. We know what we're talking about. We are
as members of the media and as professional entertainers and show hosts. Clearly, we can be trusted.
Of course,
I've got you right here, buddy. Okay,
let's do it.
8 ways to take care of your COVID. We're going to start from the simplest. We're going to work our way up to the most hardcore and expensive.
I'm ready.
Number 1, breathe hot air. So get your hair dryer or whatever. Get your hair dryer, turn it on hot, point it at your face, and open your mouth, and just turn it on and breathe it in.
All right, I'll get my face heater and put my face right up against it.
It'll soothe the throat, but it will kill the COVID. Okay? The hot air will kill the COVID.
All right,
so
I'm ready.
Do that. That's easy. Anybody can do that. Okay? Number 2, also easy. Gargle salt water. I know that you've been to the beach and you've gone in the water and you know that salt has restorative and curative properties. If you get a cut, you go swim in the ocean and you see what the salt does. That's the same with the COVID in your body. The salt will destroy it. So gargle salt water. It'll get in your throat.
Unfortunately, I think I'm out of salt right now, actually. So might be SOL on that.
Yeah, and you're stuck in the house. So, well, okay. If you can't do that, maybe you've got some bleach. If you drink bleach, this is number 3. Number 1, hot air. Number 2, gargle salt water. Number 3, drink bleach. Okay?
I like that escalation.
Well, it isn't. The whole list is an escalation.
Well, drink bleach.
If you drink bleach obviously kills, bacteria, germs. That's why we use it to clean surfaces. Well, guess what? Works in your stomach too. Drink bleach.
Hey, you drink bleach, you won't have to worry about anything at all ever again.
This is actually the point in the show where I feel compelled. I don't know if I could be sued or anything, but I have to. This is a joke, okay? This is all a joke.
Yeah, of course.
Do not do any of these things. For God's sake, please.
Us doing a podcast, we are not doctors.
Yeah. This is beyond even the doctor thing. This is a joke.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Number 5. Snort cocaine.
All right.
I didn't know this. I looked up, cures, and snorting cocaine was on the list. So I guess even if it doesn't kill the COVID, which of course it will, you will be having a good time and you won't worry about it.
Interesting. Let me call my guy.
Yeah, your guy. Tell him to leave the coke out. You'll leave the money outside, and then you can swap it. Hopefully you trust him. He won't just take the money and run off. Take the coke and the money. Number 5, garlic infused water. Okay. It's a variation on number 2. So
I mean,
maybe you could
that
just
sounds pretty good.
Put all the healthy things you could imagine in a glass of water. Put some cinnamon in there, turmeric.
I do have some garlic salt anyway. Garlic. So I guess that has salt in it.
Yeah, perfect. 2 for 1. So you do have that. Garlic salt. Gargle salt water and then drink it, and then put it in a spray gun and shoot it up your rear end, and it'll take care of that COVID. Okay, it'll get it. It'll get it out of the butt.
I'll use the same funnel I used to put oil in my car with. Won't clean it out or anything.
Volcanic ash from the eruption of the tall volcano. So the people around the tall volcano were not getting sick with COVID, and guess what the reason was? The volcanic ash. Clearly, what else could it be? So if you get some of that volcanic, now we're getting into the more difficult things now. So you got to go on the interwebs somehow, somewhere. I don't know if Amazon maybe has it, but go on there, order some of this volcanic ash. Yeah, and put it in your coffee and your tea. Sprinkle it on your food, whatever, and it will destroy the COVID in your body.
Look, I've already got my assistant on their way to the volcano to get the ash.
Excellent. So Number 7. Now we're getting into some good stuff. Number 7. This one's going to cost you a couple bucks, $300.
All right.
Go onto the dark web. You can purchase a mixture. It's basically like it's like the dark web vaccine. It's a mixture of amphetamines, cocaine, and nicotine. All substances which destroy COVID. You can get them all mixed together.
All right, I'm ready.
Absolutely eradicate the COVID-19 from your body. Guaranteed.
I feel like that's another one. It's like the bleach, where it's like, you ingest all that, you definitely won't be worried about COVID.
You're one way or another. You're not going to be concerned about COVID anymore. You're either going to be so high you won't care, or you'll be dead. Either way.
True.
Number 8. This is my final suggestion to you. Now this one costs some bucks. Okay, so you got to take out a loan for this one. But if you've got $14,990,
which I do, of course,
you can purchase the BioCharger NG Subtle Energy Platform.
Ooh.
What this does, I know you've never heard of this, but what this does, this harnesses the power of light. It's designed to transmit energy that stimulates and invigorates the entire body. Okay, it reduces the inflammation in the lungs and all other sorts of excellent and good things by energy that is emitted from this device. So if you go online and you purchase the BioCharger NG Subtle Energy Platform for a mere $15,000, that will eradicate. That's a surefire. If these other things don't work, do that. Okay. And
all right, I'm on
eradicate the COVID from your body. So some of that sounds pretty good to you?
Hey, sounds good. I'm on the dark web right now, just browsing it.
I've got Tor open right now. I'm in the dark web and I'm asking.
Let me get some vaccine, baby.
Let me get that. Get that secret vaccine. Let me get that secret vaccine.
I've got the vaccine speedball and the volcanic ash coming through the dark web.
Yes. Again, this is a comedy show. Don't. We are lying to you. Don't do any of these things. Don't do it. Now, a little more realistically, there are a few interesting stories. Now, it turns out Viagra may do something for your COVID. This woman in the UK, a 37-year-old woman, got COVID so bad that she ended up in a coma for 28 days. And she agreed, before she was put in the coma, she agreed to submit herself to experimental testing. So they gave her sildenafil, which is the active ingredient in Viagra. And what this does, theoretically, obviously I'm not a doctor. I'm sure these things have not been thoroughly tested yet, but supposedly,
it's experimental.
It gets into those tiny blood vessels in your lungs and opens them up. And it also puts more nitric oxide in your blood, which helps to stop the replication of the virus, something like that. So anyway, they gave her a big old dose of Viagra and she recovered. So they're saying, well, maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. I can't evaluate that sort of thing, but she says that's what helped her out. Viagra.
Interesting.
So take a big old dose of Viagra.
All right, I'm ready.
Shouldn't be too hard to get that.
Let me just dip into my stash over here.
The price is not too stiff. It shouldn't be hard to get a giant dose of Viagra, a big hard giant dose, throbbing Viagra to help you out. There's another. Oh, this is great. I didn't put this on the list because I wanted to talk to you about this story about Jim Baker, who I didn't know even existed still. You know, he got in trouble.
Yeah.
Jim Baker.
TV preacher.
Jim Baker was big in the 70s and 80s on TV, and he got in a sex scandal. That's what happened, and disappeared for a long time. Well, he's back, and he is selling some sort of like colloidal silver style. He had this woman on his show. Her name was Cheryl Selman, and she was saying that this thing that Silver Solution, there it is. It's called Silver Solution. And she was saying that even though it hasn't been tested against this coronavirus, that it absolutely eradicates other coronaviruses within 12 hours. As a matter of fact, it's so good, it will kill every pathogen it's ever been tested on, including SARS and HIV. This stuff is incredible. It's some kind of like, it must be like colloidal silver somehow, you know, colloidal silver. You can go to the store and buy colloidal silver. I've had people give me, I usually just take stuff like that and say, thank you very much, but I would never use it. I don't want to ingest silver, honestly. I don't want silver.
It doesn't sound like the best idea.
I don't want silver or any other metal to pass in, through the blood-brain barrier and be circulating in my brain and give me Alzheimer's and dementia one day. However, if you disagree with all that and you think that this silver solution could do the trick, you can have a 4-ounce bottle for $80.
There you go.
Baker will sell it to you. Well,
ship it right to you.
I guess people complained because the state of Missouri filed a lawsuit against Baker and his production company. So now he can't advertise or sell Silver Solution or any other treatment products or anything related to treating the coronavirus.
Well, yeah. I mean, somehow I doubt that's going to work unless, COVID is literally just like tiny werewolves in your body.
Part of you said, yes. Is actually COVID, they're just tiny little werewolves. And so if you take this silver, you know how a silver bullet kills a werewolf. This tiny little silver will kill all the little werewolf COVIDs in your body.
That's right. That's just science right there.
Part of you says, well, maybe he just believes in it. Maybe he's misguided or whatever, but he just believes in it. He wants you to have it. But when he says 4 ounces for $80, I just don't. That's
of course.
That kind of gives it away, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just a racket.
If you're selling a 4-ounce bottle of whatever this is for $80, that gives the whole game away, right? Like you are clearly just fake based on that. I don't think the article says how much, but
I'm sure all that information is like private.
So much money. I got one more COVID story, and then we're talking about our movie 12 things that take me out of a movie. This last one, is it funny? No, it's not funny, but it's so dumb. It's so dumb and crazy that it becomes absurd and therefore funny. So a Cypress Falls high school teacher, 41-year-old Sarah Beam, was accused is even a funny way of saying it. So what she did was her son got sick with COVID. Her son's 13 years old. And she, being afraid of contracting COVID from him, but wanting to go get him tested, she told him to get in the trunk. And then she drove to the testing facility with the boy in the trunk. And when she got there, she said, I guess she drove up. It was, a drive-through thing. She drove up. I guess she drove up and said, I want you to test my boy. And they're probably like, well, where is he? Like, oh, let me pop the trunk so you can go back there and test him. And they're like, what are you talking about? You can't keep a kid in the trunk.
That's insane. Absolutely crazy. That's in like 70s style parenting. You just like put all the kids in the back of the truck and drive down the highway at 70 miles an hour or something.
I love the image of her pulling up and they're about to give her the test. And she's like, no. And then she pops the trunk. He's in the back.
Oh,
yeah.
I imagine her like
the one you did to test.
And like the Walgreens drive-thru, doing the drive-thru testing, she pulls up a little too far and just pops the trunk.
Oh, yes. Oh, ma'am. Pop, pop. Well, obviously the authorities and the people, everyone was horrified, to see this.
Yeah.
She's being charged with felony child endangerment.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Turns out you can't just put a kid in your trunk, drive around town,
True.
No seatbelt. Probably didn't even have a pillow back there. No juice box, no nothing.
No ventilation. It's hot. You get hit by a car. You're just going to get rattled around. Yeah, that's insane.
Listen, do it. Just put him in a trash bag and cut a hole in it. Put a mask on him. That's what you're supposed to do.
True.
Not put him in your trunk. At least let the boy ride in the back seat.
Just put him in the back seat, but tell him he has to keep his head out the window the whole time.
Listen, if that story is as horrifying to you as it is to us, click that like button. Smash that like. I'm going to try to become the biggest shill ever. Smash that like button right now. Now that we've solved COVID and, we're done with that, let's go on and talk about in all seriousness, follow, sub, like, all that stuff, comment. If you've got an interesting, how about this? If you've got an interesting solution for COVID, stick it down in the comments on YouTube. See how long it takes YouTube to take your comment down and then ban you from the platform. Switching gears. I touched on this last week and I wanted to fill it out a little bit. I don't think about it too much, but since I brought it up last week, now I've been thinking about it. It's like 12 things. I made a list. Now this is the list week and I didn't really mean to do that. It's just how it happened. But people love lists, so I hope the audience enjoys. This list is my 12 things that take me out of a movie instantly. Okay, I know the movies. People are going to say, oh, it's just a stupid movie. And you got, fine, I get it. You got to give a little, what's it called? Suspension of disbelief. You got to give a little. Yeah. I get it. But still, there's a point at which it becomes lazy. I can only go so far. So these are 12 things that when I see them happen in a movie, it just completely takes me out. Now, I mentioned the first one on my list last week, and that's when a person falls and they reach out and grab the person with one arm and stop them.
Yeah.
I could believe this if it was a full-grown, 200-pound strong man catching a 5-year-old by the arm, I guess. 40-pound, 50-pound maybe kid. But if it's an adult catching an adult, that arm is getting ripped out of its socket.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You're going to be screaming in agony and pain. And if you're a 75-year-old teenage girl catching a full-grown adult man who's probably a little fat, catching him, you're done. Not only is it going to rip your arm out of socket, you're going to go down right after him. You can't stop him. What are you going to do? So every time I see this move, I've seen it in movies 1,000 times. Every time I see this, I just have to shake my head. Ridiculous. This is completely ridiculous. I can't.
Yeah, it's a little much sometimes.
I think this happens in every action movie that has ever been filmed. Number 2, computer hacking. Almost 100% hacking in movies. Or people this is 2 parts. It's hacking in computers and people using computers without using mice. So if they're not hacking, if somebody's on the computer in a show and they're doing something, looking at a police database or looking at Google or something like that in a computer and they never touch the mouse, that drives me nuts because my hand is constantly on the mouse when I'm using a computer.
Look, that's because you're not a real hacker.
I'm going to tell you 2 things to look up to perfectly demonstrate what I'm talking about. Okay. Just go to YouTube and type in NCIS hack.
I'm going to check this now. I bet if you type in NCIS on YouTube, that's the first thing that comes up. I bet before you even type anything else.
NCIS, that's all you need. Type it in, hacking. There's a great scene where, and I can't remember the woman's name, Abby. And
Abby, yeah.
Abby is trying to hack. I think they're being hacked or something like that. I can't help but say it that way, hacked. And she's slamming on the keyboard. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to counter hack or whatever. So she's hacking as hard as she can on the keyboard, just smashing the keys. It's not working. So the other guy, whose name I can't remember, he's like, oh, let me help. And he starts slamming on the keyboard, the same keyboard right next to her. They're both hacking on the same keyboard.
They're double hacking.
Stupid. They're double hacking. So if you have two people on the same keyboard slamming it, you hack twice as hard.
Sure, that's right.
But any hacking, now, that's hilarious. And also look up, and I forgot the name of this movie. It's the one with Hugh Jackman. Swordfish. Thank you.
Yeah.
I can never think of the name of that movie. Swordfish. There's a scene where, so Hugh Jackman is a hacker and he is being tested. He's going to work for John Travolta, but he has to be tested first. So John Travolta sits him down and like puts a gun to his head or something. He's like, you have like 6 minutes or a minute or something stupid to do some ridiculous hack. And
yeah.
Not only does it do the hilarious hacking, which would be impossible, but plus on a computer that he's never used, by the way, as though one person could just jump on any other person's computer and it's ready to go. I'm not a hacker. I feel like you need some custom, stuff set up on your computer to do that. Anyway, this computer was already set up for hacking. It was all ready to go. But not only do you get the stupid hacking scene, but it's got a beautiful visual representation of the hacking that's going on, which is also ridiculous in movies, is when you get these ridiculous graphic images
honestly,
as though computers work that way.
Honestly, it's kind of a corollary. One of my favorite tropes is when you see people hacking or the technology is just like equations flying all over the screen. I love it.
Yes.
I love that stuff.
And I think in that movie they had these big boxes and the boxes were being turned into a cube or something stupid like that. It's like as though any computer program ever looks like that. Hacking, I'm sure, is extremely boring.
No, screw all that. Just go watch the movie Hackers. One of the greatest movies ever made.
Yeah,
I like it so much. I have a tattoo of Matthew Lillard on my arm that says "Hack the Planet."
The hacking in that movie is both ridiculous, but also more believable because they'll do things like change the classroom. I believe a teenager with computer skills could hack into a high school database and change information. Yeah, I believe that.
And it has some of the less glamorous, like sort of hacking type stuff too, where like they have like a partial program. They don't have the whole thing. And they're trying to figure out what it does. So they're just like looking at lines of binary code and just like banging their heads against the wall about it.
Yeah, but
it does also have my beloved equation trope, where they're hacking. It's just like colors and equations and stuff all over the place.
Well, even at the beginning of the movie, when he's just on the computer doing whatever he's doing, and some person, like a message just pops up from some chat program or something.
Oh yeah. Well, he's hacking into the TV station.
Yes.
And then Acid Burn sends a message that who treads on my domain or something like that.
Yes.
Acid Burn is Angelina Jolie.
Yes.
Ridiculous. And they had the hacking battle in the TV station. Oh my God, that movie's so good. Please watch Hackers. It's so good.
Oh, anyway, computer hacking in the movie's hilarious. Number 3, vehicle explosions. And this is cliche, but in every movie, every action movie, that the hero can take one shot at a car's gas tank and it will blow up.
Oh yeah.
It just explode. Or a helicopter or anything. Blast it with any gun. Hell, you might could do it with a slingshot. I don't know, but just hit the gas tank. Just hit it hard, and the whole car will explode.
That's right. Well,
this is, of course, not only just it's not just exaggerated. It's so far from anything that could ever happen in reality.
Yeah.
That it just it takes me out of the movie because gas tanks are designed not to explode. They're strong. First of all, there's not enough air in there to create an explosion, and a bullet going into your gas tank is not going to make it blow up. I mean, everything about it does not work.
True.
Mythbusters tried it. Didn't work. There's a great scene in Last Action Hero. You remember that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
He's in a movie, but he crosses over into the real world and he tries to do his movie star stuff. And one of the things he does is he lights up a gas tank and nothing happens. He's like, hey, why didn't it just blow up? Guess what? Because it's the real world and gas tanks don't blow up like that.
Unless you're driving an old Ford Pinto.
Oh. You're referencing the video that you told me about?
Yeah, there's the classic test footage video where somebody has a Ford Pinto just sitting there and somebody slams in the back of it like 35 miles an hour and it just explodes into a fireball.
I have got.
But of course, that's like 70s when, not quite as safe as they are now.
They were made to explode. Back in the 70s when cars would just do that. We're talking about modern cars. Modern cars don't explode like that.
Yeah, they don't do that.
Oh, are those great scenes where a car will fly off the edge of a cliff?
Yeah.
And as soon as it makes contact with the ground, it just explodes like a nuclear bomb. Ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Number 4. Now, this one, I'm going to admit to this one, I simply read about this one. It doesn't bother me, but if this is true, it's hilarious. That once someone's heart has flatlined, you don't just hit them with the paddles and shock it back.
Yeah.
So I read that that's what you do when the heart rate is wacky and you're trying to get it back into a normal rhythm. But if the heart stops beating, you give them adrenaline, give them a shot to get the heart started again. You don't defibrillate it.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Remember that movie? What was the movie where they actually died on purpose and then they would just shock each other back to life?
Was that a recent movie?
No, that's an old movie.
Oh, I don't know.
They made several of them though. Whatever it's called, and people listening to this know what I'm talking about. They would kill each other on purpose somehow, or stop their hearts, and then they would just shock themselves back to life. Yeah, I don't think it works that way. It does not work that way. Number 5. This one has always bothered me, probably since I was a kid. Number 5 is sucking the poison from a wound. So you've seen westerns, you've seen shows where somebody gets bitten by a snake. And the hero, Clint Eastwood or whoever, pulls out his big knife and cuts it and then sticks his mouth to the wound and starts sucking out the poison. He sucks it and spits it. Sucks the poison out and spits it out. And I just cannot even fathom. I can't begin to imagine how something like that would even work. Your body is pumping blood constantly. The snake has injected the poison in your bloodstream. Is it going to stick around in that one spot long enough for you to cut it and then have the poison sucked out?
I guess if your face is right beside where the snake bit, maybe. I don't know.
You know what? It should probably be more like when you're trying to shoot something that's moving. So you should cut whichever direction the blood is pumping. You need to cut downstream and start sucking up from there. Cut it off. Not exactly the same spot where you're bitten. You can't just suck how much suction does a person's mouth have? Just sucking all the blood out with the poison in it and spitting it out? That's crazy. That's the craziest thing. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I don't think it does anything.
It's always seems stupid to me. I just cannot imagine that working.
Literally a WebMD article called "Don't Suck a Snake Bite." And I mean, of course, too. I mean, snakes and spiders and stuff like that. They don't often or they don't always, actually inject any venom. They do dry bites. It's like a warning. Just tell you to get away.
Say that again. They do what?
Sorry, sorry to get a little sniffly. Snakes and spiders, they don't always inject venom when they bite. They do dry bites all the time. So it's just like a warning because you're so much bigger than they are. There's no point in wasting the venom. So
right.
They just give you a little warning bite to say get away.
Yeah. That one is crazy to me. Number 6, small people beating up big people. I'm going to freely admit that I haven't never gotten into a bunch of fights. I'm no fighting expert, but in my head,
I've never been in a fight ever.
in my mind, we have weight classes in wrestling, boxing, and fighting, MMA for a reason. And that's because if someone weighs, if someone is a lot bigger than you with longer arms and they're stronger, it's an unfair fight. Okay. That's the reason we don't put a 98-pound boxer in the ring with a 200-pound boxer because no matter how good you are at boxing, you are simply overwhelmed by the power of your opponent. There's nothing you can do. So when I'm watching a movie, for instance, when I'm watching Hawkeye, which I discussed the week that you weren't on the show, when I'm watching Hawkeye and I'm watching Kate Bishop, who is a 22-year-old woman, maybe I could not guess her weight, but a small person that ish, a normal 22-year-old woman that build, athletic, but still, when I see her beating up 4, 5, 6, 7 big, gangsters who outweigh her, by 100 pounds. It just completely destroys the movie for me because I can't believe anything else that's happening. I mean, the problems of that show are legion. But that's just one of them. And this thing where little people beat up big people happens all the time in movies.
True. I don't know. I kind of like that one, admittedly.
Yeah. I can suspend disbelief only so far. I'll accept a certain amount of that, but at a certain point, it's like, I'm just going to pick you up and body slam you. There's nothing you can do. I don't care if you're a 100th degree black belt. If I outweigh you by 200 pounds and you step to me, I'm going to pick you up with one hand, spin you around like a helicopter, and throw you in the trash can after I give you, after I pull your underwear up your ass crack. There's just nothing you can do. I'm going to drop you in the toilet, give you a swirly, and then take all the money out of your pockets. What can you do? You can't do anything. You're just too small.
All right. Well, now we got to set up a fight, a real life fight between you and some 4 foot tall karate expert.
Between me?
Yeah, between you and some 4 foot tall karate expert.
Completely untrained me versus a 12-year-old boy with a black belt.
Let's go.
I'll do that. I'll do that every day of the week. Let me tell you something. The 12-year-old will lose. I have zero training in karate, and he will lose. I will slap him around till his mama makes us stop. Number 7. Totally, and I know it's a movie. You have to give him a little bit, but a completely, totally unbelievable ability not to hit a target.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the classic example is stormtroopers. We all know stormtroopers can't hit anything. The newest example that I can think of is The Matrix 4 that I just watched a couple weeks ago, whatever. In that movie, it happens constantly, but in that movie, there's a scene where, and this is before Neo, has his Neo powers, but they're in an office. Just imagine a regular office. Okay. And someone is standing in front of you, maybe 15 feet away. Not only is it someone standing in front of you, it's multiple someones, and these things are computers. Now, have you ever played a computer game against a very good bot opponent? They're pretty good shots. Okay. They're probably going to shoot you. They're going to hit you. Somehow they start opening fire in this environment and don't hit him. It completely destroyed it for me. I just cannot believe that. Now, the first Matrix movie, the first time they bust out the big guns and they have a giant firefight, is in that lobby when he goes into the building and he's got the duffel bag full of guns. And in that one, there is a lot of gunfire. The policemen are trying to hit Trinity and Neo, and they can't hit him. Now, that one I can buy. And the reason is there are all these columns, and Neo and Trinity are super fast and super strong. They're running on walls, and these are normal human beings who are shooting at them. Of course, you're not going to hit them. And they have all the columns to block the bullets and stuff. I get that one. But when it's people in a room standing across from one another and you start opening fire and you can't hit them. I can't go there with you. I just can't. And it happens in movies all the time. Everyone has seen this where people where people are so bad they cannot hit something that even a person who's never held a gun before could hit. It's too much. I can't handle it. It's absolutely too much.
Reminds me of the old UHF scene where during the Rambo section where the guy shooting a Weird Al keeps walking towards him, getting closer and closer, and it zooms out and he's just right in front of him.
He's got a giant pile
Can't hit him.
Spent casings all around him.
Yeah.
His waist or something. Okay. Number 8. Bombs with clocks that tick. I'm no, whatever. I just don't think all bombs are going to have clocks on the front, and I don't think they're all going to tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. I just don't think so. If you're making if you're making a little homemade bomb with a piece of dynamite or something, is it going to literally have a clock on it that ticks?
I mean, I'm sure probably not. I'm sure nobody would actually do that. I think it's just for suspense in movies.
I'm thinking of Batman, The Dark Knight Rises, the third one with Christian Bale, where there's that giant bomb that's going to blow up the city, and there's a timer on the front, and it literally makes a ticking sound. Why would it make a ticking sound?
Yeah, like I said, I think that's for the audience. That's not really for the movie.
That's a movie thing that goes way back. I get it. Maybe that I can forgive this one a little bit. It's a little bit of artistic license, a little more interesting. It's sort of a cliche.
Yeah.
There's certain things we just do. The bomb just ticks. But I really just don't think bombs would tick in real life. I don't think so.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't, because you wouldn't want someone to find it.
Yeah.
You
wouldn't want anybody to be able to find your bomb. And I don't know that you would necessarily want them to know how much time is left before it goes off.
True.
Once you've left it, set it and left it, who needs to know? Nobody.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, number 9, enhance. Now, just saying that, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But any movie where they get some grainy, pixelated image, they grab some CCTV,
like 20 by 20 pixels.
especially older shows, when you know the video quality was bad.
Yeah.
You get some satellite photo or some CCTV image or something like that, and they put it in the computer and they say enhance. And they take this image that is complete garbage and they turn it into this beautiful high resolution image. No way. No way. I work on graphics for a living. That's my profession. And we have things where we are currently developing algorithms right now that do those sorts of things in 2021, 22.
Yeah.
Which means back in 1997, I know you couldn't do that. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
not.
Of course. And I mean, the ultimate problem, too, is, that's just information that isn't there. So you're kind of guessing with the computer.
That's the problem. There's nothing to enhance. You don't have the information.
Yeah,
you have giant blocks. You can't. The computer would just have to guess. We have to create information out of nothing. There's nothing to enhance. So the enhancement is ridiculous. You've seen it a million times, I'm sure. All right, number 10.
Oh, of course.
Geniuses. Now, what I mean, there are people who are incredibly smart in general, and there are many people who are geniuses in their field. So maybe you have a person who is brilliant. And you know what? Maybe they have a couple things. Maybe you have a person who's a brilliant engineer, but also marketing genius.
Yeah.
Or very good at it. What you don't have is, for instance, someone like Batman, to go back to Batman for a second. What we have in Batman is an expert in combat, an expert in detective work, expert in chemistry, engineering.
A true polymath.
Everything. He's so smart that he's basically expert level at everything. That's way too much. I can't buy that. That's too much. Real geniuses in the real world are a genius at a thing, maybe really good at another couple things, and then a normal human being at everything else.
Yeah, everybody's got, one or two things that they're really smart about.
Right.
And
Exactly.
then everything else, you might be a little smart, but usually pretty average.
You know, in a way, I think I like the way Dr. House. You remember that show House?
Yeah.
I guess it's been a while since it's still on TV, but House was a very smart guy too. But it took him a really long time to figure out some of his problems.
Oh yeah.
Endless scenes of him just in a room bouncing a ball on. Well, that was every episode. What am I talking about? Every episode was him. He's a genius doctor, but every episode was him trying to figure out what is going on and just racking his brain over it.
Yeah, dealing with the challenge of it.
Until something happens and then bam, it occurs to him what's going on. That's a little more like it. Batman, I can do everything. I'm the perfect planner. I'm the perfect detective. I can build everything. I'm a great software engineer. That's too much. I can't take that.
I'm a hacker.
I bet he can hack too. Batman has computers that are greater than anything the government has. His hacking can break through any firewall. Anyway, number 12. And I'm going to try to explain this in a way that the audience, that makes sense. But I've seen this so many times in movies, and it's so lazy, and it drives me so crazy. But there will be people who don't explain a situation adequately, and therefore give another character a wrong impression simply to drive the story forward.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a certain type of conflict in a story, or a certain type of misunderstanding is what fuels the plot. So what will happen is, say a person I've seen this before. So say you have a couple and your wife sees you talking to another woman in a restaurant and just having a great time, laughing, cutting up, having a great time. Later on, you come home and your wife is extremely mad at you, clearly. And you're like, honey, what's wrong? And she says something like, I saw you in the restaurant with that woman. Then the husband goes, no, wait. No, it's not what you think. I can explain. And then she says a few more things and walks out of the house, and he never explains what actually happens. When a human being would say, no, wait, that was my sister. That wasn't, I'm not in a relationship with her. A real human being would simply explain it quickly in a way that made sense, instead of being like, oh, no, wait, you don't understand. It's not what you think. Door slams and they leave.
10 seconds. Yeah. It only takes, a few seconds.
Yeah. And it takes 40 more minutes of the movie to sort out something that's extremely simple. I hate that. It drives me nuts. It happens in stories a lot. And it just feels like total lazy writing to get the story to do whatever they want the story to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that one drives me insane, for sure.
Yeah. It's so contrived. Number 12, finally. Overwhelming villains who don't just kill the person they're fighting. They just throw them around. And I've seen it so many times where you've got some beast, villain, monster, bad guy, whatever it is, creature, robot. And instead of just picking our hero up and snapping their neck, which they could do and would do in real life. If you were, this thing was trying to kill you and it ever got its hands on you, you would be dead. That's how powerful they are. Instead, what they do in these movies, they throw you around 10 times and then you're like, oh, I'll just escape. And then you leave and then you come back and you beat them later. It happens all the time. It happens in these superhero movies. I guess Marvel movies. It probably happens in every Marvel movie ever made.
Well, the bad guy's just trying to enjoy it, trying to savor it.
Yeah. The clearest example that I can think of is the Black Widow movie, where she's fighting against the Taskmaster. Now, the Taskmaster is basically this killing machine. It's not a literal machine, but it's like a programmed machine of a person.
Yeah.
They follow orders. So if the Taskmaster is designed to kill the Black Widow, as soon as the Taskmaster is messing her up, and there's nothing she can do. And it gets a hold of her. And instead of just killing her, which is what would happen in life, instead of just picking her up and snapping that neck and throwing her down, it starts throwing her around. Ridiculous. And what's funny too is when you watch a movie like this, and when an opponent like that gets a hold of a character that doesn't matter, sometimes the movie is going to kill a character to show you how powerful this thing is. Yeah. So they'll get a hold of some background character and just pick him up and break him in half and throw him down off a bridge. That's what would happen. But when they get a hold of your hero, they just throw him around 10 times until the hero comes up with a plan or makes an escape or something like that. And it's so contrived. It's so lazy. I hate it. It takes me out of the movie every time I see it, and it happens all the time. All the time.
You got to extend that movie, man. Gotta get that 2-hour runtime, baby.
So this list could be endless. Listen, if you're listening to this, those are my 12 things, okay? If you're listening to this on YouTube, drop a comment down below and tell me what it is that you see in these movies that drives you absolutely nuts. Something that you see in a movie that every time you see it, it just kind of it breaks the immersion, it breaks the spell, it takes you out of the movie. Drop a comment below and tell me what you think. I would love to read your examples of these things because I feel like you could make a list of 100 of these easy of just dumb things in movies. So anyway, that's just a fun little thing. That's our list. Just another reminder, by the way, if you're enjoying the show, hit the like button for us. That really helps the show a lot. And go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Spotify so you don't miss a new episode. We're trying to grow the show. This is a brand new show brand new show. So we're trying to grow it, and we need your help to do that. So anyway, I'm not sure what to think about this one exactly. This article's from Vice. The headline says, tech startup wants to gamify suing people using crypto tokens. So we're all familiar with crowdfunding. The legal system is insanely expensive. It costs much to go through the court system. And that is to the advantage of rich people and rich companies because they can just keep paying lawyers to drag it out. And people who don't have that money, they're just going to drop it or settle because it costs too much. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
So now, and this is actually amazing, but now you can crowdfund. If a lot of people believe in what you're doing, you can get hundreds of people to donate money and you have a war chest, and now you can get something done in court. Well, now we have the cryptocurrency version of this. So it says a new company plans to let everyday Americans bet on civil lawsuits by buying and trading associated crypto tokens in initial litigation offerings, ILOs. A new tech startup plans to become the stock market of litigation financing by allowing everyday Americans to bet on civil lawsuits through the purchase and trade of associated crypto tokens. Rival's goal, who is one of the guys, doing this. Rival's goal is to make access to justice more affordable, said Kyle Roche, a trial lawyer and one of the startup's founders. What I want to do is make the federal court system more accessible for all. So I guess the idea, you heard it, it's going to function like the stock market. And
it just sounds like betting.
If there's some trial, I guess, that you're like, oh man, this is a slam dunk. I think this one's going to work. You could buy these tokens and hope the price goes up. And maybe if the price goes up, you could sell your tokens off to somebody else. It functions just like crypto does.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's all just the same shit.
Yeah, which is...
I don't know, it just sounds dystopic to me.
It's so weird. It's like it's commodifying a lawsuit, turning it into yet another way for rich people to make tons of money, even calling it an ILO, an initial litigation offering.
Yeah.
It's just like when a company goes public. It's just like when a coin goes public. It's sort of neat if it functioned where everyone who had a stake in the court case could pay money and get a token, and then once the case was settled, all those people could be paid out. That'd be cool. But it sounds like what's actually happening is every case becomes its own cryptocurrency. And you could buy, trade, sell. Hell, you could probably short it or all the things that you do.
It's the same thing as the stock market, all the cryptocurrency stuff. It's just you can use the same techniques, I would assume.
Yeah. I'm imagining Robinhood, but for legal cases. So you got all these cases, this versus that, this is versus that, this is versus that. And you go, oh, this one looks good. And you could buy a little bit of this one and buy a little bit of that and trade. And oh my God, there's something sickening about it.
Well, yeah. And it's all kind of, I mean, I don't know, all these libertarian tech guys get really, crazy over this stuff, but it's just the same things over and over again. It's not really anything new. It's just, doing it, through crypto or whatever now.
They're selling it as access to capital to give the little person more access to the court system. But that's not exactly what I think.
I don't think that's not really what it sounds like.
That's the way the founder is selling it. That's what he's saying. But everything you read about it's like, oh, it's just a stock market for court cases. That's horrific.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, like you said, it's just commodifying a court case.
That's bizarre. So anyway, I've been looking forward to talking to you about this one because the instant I saw it, I thought I've got to talk about this on the show. This is hilarious. This is the Elon Goat Token.
God.
Okay. This is I'm seeing this on Gizmodo, and Kevin, what I want you to do is to pull this story up. If I know you're in front of a computer, so I want you to see this GIF. If you go to Gizmodo,
I gotta see it.
Go to the Google. The headline is Crypto Dev says he's spending $500,000 on a statue of Elon Musk's head on a goat's body. I want you to just drink that in. Audience that's listening, drink that in. A statue of Elon Musk's head on a goat's body. Okay? Go into Google. Just type in goat.
Lightning bolts
goat
around
Gizmodo.
it.
Yeah.
With a rocket.
Bolts. Folks, what I'm looking, it's not built yet. It's in the works. But what I'm looking at is a 3D sort of computer rendering truck. And on the back of the truck, there's a rocket ship that is blasting off. And on top of the rocket ship is a goat surrounded by lightning, flashing lightning, with Elon Musk's head and horns on the top of it. There's one of those like market chart arrows going up to the moon, pointing at the moon. Hilarious. Get it? Meme. Ha, 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 ha. Get it? Pointing to the moon. To the moon, baby. To the moon. The joke's on you because the people going to the moon on this one are the people who are creating the token. So this is called the Elon Goat Coin. Okay. The article on Gizmodo says between Bitcoin themed super spreader events and cringy branded NFTs, those within the crypto community have set a high bar for devising the worst ways to hawk their currency of choice. But this week, the creators of an Elon Musk themed cryptocurrency dubbed the Elon Goat Token, and in parentheses, yes, that's actually what it's called, came up with a promotional campaign that might have just blown those other ideas out of the water. Sorry. It's a statue featuring Elon Musk's expressionless face on a goat's body, and it looks exactly like you think it would. So I checked out I read this article, and there's a link to the 12-page white paper, which I checked out to see what the plan was. Here's the idea. Yeah. These guys were talking about some way to make money. The first idea was, well, maybe we'll just make like a bunch of NFTs with goat Elon on it. I mean, just let that soak in for a minute.
I do not understand the Elon thing, man.
This NFT space is like cancer. All of this crap that is being put out. But they're like, well, we don't want to just do a bunch of worthless NFT. Let me read this part of the article. It'll say it better than I could. Okay. A motherboard interview with one of the crypto's developers, Ashley Sansalone, revealed that the idea for this horrific human-goat hybrid actually came during a consulting call at 3:30 in the morning. I don't know why they're having one at 3:30 in the morning, but the guy on the other end of the line apparently pitched that's when I do my best work at 3:30 in the morning.
Of course.
I don't know. You're a stay up late kind of guy. Maybe you get that better than I do.
I mean, I feel like being up late, but I haven't done it in a while.
The guy on the other end of the line apparently pitched an idea for an NFT series featuring a goatified Musk. Sansalone, to his credit, told the outlet that he didn't want to waste his time pumping out thousands of NFTs that would be meaningless to him personally. So what they decided instead is, take a look at the white paper if you get a chance. It's not, a lot of times these white papers are just text explaining all the technicalities. And there's a little bit of that in here, but it's really just like it's like a brochure, a very visual brochure full of images telling you the plan. Very user friendly, or very easy to read and digest. So go open this white paper.
Yeah.
Plan is they've already got a guy mocking this up. They're going to build this statue on the back of a Tesla truck, this thing. They're going to drive this thing, around the country, maybe stop at some certain places to drum up some publicity, I'm sure. Wherever they think they're going to get the maximum exposure, that's where they're going to drive it. And then they're going to end their journey in Austin, Texas, right in front of the Tesla headquarters, right in the parking lot, I guess. Maybe they're going to give it. They're going to give it to Elon. They're just going to park it there, whatever. I'm sure the idea is, Elon tweets about Dogecoin to the moon. So we got to get Elon to tweet about the Elon Goat Token. So I'm sure that's what they plan to do. They're going to drop it right in the parking lot, and they're going to get Elon to tweet about it.
Yeah.
People are going to be buying this thing up, and the price, I read this and I thought, maybe, you know what? This is so crazy and stupid. It's actually going to make money. Maybe I should buy some of these and then sell it as soon as the price goes up. But what's tough is that a lot of the tokens are sold before the public can even get a chance. So they'll do private sales to rich people or whoever, and sell it to them, and then they'll do an initial offering to a select group of people, and then down the road, then that's when everybody else gets to buy the token, and regular people make the price go up, and then all these people who own the tokens can sell it off and make some money, and then all these people who bought the token trying to do the same thing, the price just crashes because the owners or whoever sell the tokens, and the price spikes back down. Which is probably what's going to happen with this thing. But I gotta give him props.
You pump it up and dump it when it's high.
Props.
Yeah, of course.
This is a doozy. This is a pretty good one.
I think that's really what most cryptocurrencies are. They're just somebody starts a currency and they gas it up, and then when they when it blows up a little bit, they sell it.
I don't know the people who are doing this. I don't know if they're trustworthy or whatever, but this is so insane that it's probably going to make a lot of money. This thing is going to make a lot of money for some people. Oh man, this is so crazy. I want to see. I want to see the Elon Goat truck. I want to see this thing in person.
I did see on Twitter somebody had like a real life mock up of the head.
Oh, of the head of this thing? Yeah. The guy, the designer's name is Danny Wang, and he's putting updates on Instagram. So if you want to check it out, follow him on Instagram. You can see the whole process.
Elon Goat Token. Oh my God.
There you go. Elon Goat Token. That's what we got. That's the show for today. Listen, I hope you enjoyed the show. We enjoyed doing it. Don't forget, TMC Brewing on Twitter. Too Much Coffee on YouTube. Subscribe, follow. We have so much fun. We're here to entertain you, and we appreciate you listening. So thanks for watching listening to the show, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, indeed.